Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on getting our infamy down and reforming our army by building some more power plants. I'm going to make this thing happen. I don't... The answer is for the government to have more control over the construction. That's what it is. Alright, so... I definitely want these ones to get built reasonably soon, but... not too soon. Actually, there's the war with the Matabele. Not too concerned about that. We'll put these in at the top, and then we'll throw the power plants in above them. And that'll be just fine. Ooh, Platinian mass immigration. Cool. Alright. So there's that war finished. This is a situation in the Nejid. I can avoid dealing with that. And this is El Salvador. Oh, right. I was going to try to get involved here. Can't get a subject. Don't need a trade agreement. I'd rather just conquer El Salvador myself anyway. Eventually. Once I've annexed New Grenada. They're still increasing. I don't think they're going to get above 75. How much longer for these time modifiers? Ooh, aggressive campaigning. William Ullman, following an address where he condemned the Socialist Party of America, has begun to mobilize dedicated partisans to oppose it in the election. An unprincipled morass, best served not in Parliament but in prison, devoid of positive achievement, a collective self-parody, an embarrassment to the American nation. Down with the Socialist Party. There's certainly a better alternative. Weaker socialists, stronger Republicans, or a packet of miscreants indeed, minus 30% momentum. I'm going to do the first one. We're going to see what women's suffrage brings to the election, the shape of the electoral. Oh, law debate failure, down to 20%. That's very sad. Excuse me, there's the election, and we're in a righteous government once again. Let's see if we have the ability to have the government be legitimate with the industrials in it. Absolutely not. Alright, well, it is what it is. And this is a situation internal to Mecklenburg, so I can ignore that. The Owen farmers want agrarianism once again, but I'm not delivering. A good vintage. The wine produced in Washington has been lauded by sommeliers as excellent. When people say that something ages like wine, they don't always make the distinction between wine and wine. So let me make that distinction. If you can get your hands on a bottle from Washington, that bottle can be more than just a good time. It can be an investment. Make this an exclusive product for export, extra prestige, or increase production to meet the booming demand. I'm going to go with the export for extra prestige. Colonization of Zambezi completed. Beautiful. The great state of Zambezi will soon be part of America. By the way, in the last episode, I forgot to, I can't get involved in Darfur, sadly. I forgot to get Pastaza and Mato Grosso back incorporating, but I'm incorporating them once again, so that should be just fine. 10 more weeks on these power plants, and then we'll have our freaking radios. Our freaking radios. Oh my goodness. Hello. Radical revolt in Nicaragua. Not worried about it. Assuming I'm not bugged and I've got a front. Because I have had that happen before. Let me see. Finances are looking a lot better. Law debate success. Plus 10%. Wonderful. Wati. Where is this? This is in Australia. Everyone's trying to grab up bits of Australia now that Australia has fallen over and can't get up. And Uluru is really holding things down over there. I think I am going to need more ports because I am pretty low on convoys, but it's going to have to wait because I got so much queued up right now. There's just so very much to do. Serbia sides with Greece. That's just fine. Let's go ahead and ignore this. This is Greece versus a Turkish uprising. Interesting. Not going to get involved, but interesting. Civil war in Tidor. I'm at least going to keep watch on this one. Alright. So, now that we've got our power, let's start producing radios. And now that we're producing radios, let's start upgrading our artillery. I'm just going to hit the upgrade all units button. And that should get that going, and we'll see how that goes in a minute. So we're currently working on electric industries in Colorado. Those will be done in just a few weeks. A lot of it failed. Stop failing to debate. Give me an event. Let me make a decision. Or just say yes. Jeepers. Tidor, friend. Don't you want to be part of the United States? Tidor? Fine. Well, then I won't get involved. Alright, and then these ones in Colorado are already set to building up, so I don't need to watch them. The Trenton Advocate, an explicitly partisan newspaper founded by members of the movement to enact professional army. Oh, there is a movement to enact professional army. Interesting. In Trenton, has published its first issue. Between advertisers and political cartoons, it hosts ruthless critique of government policy. There was a certain brilliance to it by printing it on the cheapest paper, by skimping on ink, by flooding it with advertisements and large text. One could produce a profitable paper for only a penny per copy, whilst its competitors sold for 5 to 10 times that amount. By making the paper relentlessly and shamelessly endorse a certain viewpoint, one could have every working person in the city aware of it by evening. If one's competitors refuse to stoop that low, they will become responsible for their own suffocation. How long can a partisan paper last? 10 extra movement support? Or is that so? Deny them a printing license. We're going to deny them a printing license. Because I don't want professional army. American British Fellowship offers... I don't want Britain investing in me. I should be reading them, but I've seen that event so many times. They want Britain to invest in us, and I don't desire British money flowing into the United States via investment. Our economy is strong. We don't need it. Domestic capital will provide the necessary... That's a very silly-looking investment pool, but it's an investment pool that's doing what it needs to do. And that's what's important. There's the war with radical Nicaragua popping off. We are obviously crushing it. No problem whatsoever over there. Rebellion in Cape Colony. Law debate success. Pretty good. Not going to get involved in that. That war is done. And these are just about getting built. So, now that I've got some freaking radios, let's make some scout cruisers happen. I want 5 in Washington, 5 in Oregon, 10 in California. I also want 5 more in Washington and Oregon. Alright, so we're going to throw those at the top, and then we're going to scrap the monitors. Just scrap them. Just get rid of them. Those are going to get built pretty fast. Next, we're going to go with the Pacific Fleet. Has 20 monitors. We'll do... Any labor in Alaska? Not much. Yeah, we'll provide some jobs in Alaska, at least. No, that territory is still unincorporated. Never mind, we'll focus on California. And we'll do the same. We'll throw them in at the top. Again, those are going to get built really, really fast, so it's not a rush. And then finally, for the Atlantic Fleet, you've got 60 monitors. Let's get building. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 5. $60. Hey, got it. Lot of 8 success. Once again, we're up to 40%. Come on, give me a success. And after that, we'll scrap all the monitors. Once again. So let's go ahead and throw those at the top of the queue. And again, these will get built really fast. I'm not really concerned about them. It's just going to be a lot of building up to do. So, what does that do to our supply of radios? I assume radios are... They're not. They're really not. And in fact, mostly it's people using them and not barracks. The East Sahara Pipeline. Oil companies operating in East Sahara have requested government assistance in funding a pipeline, promising that its construction will be accompanied by other infrastructural improvements. Putting a liquid inside a solid, putting that solid inside another solid, and propelling the whole mess across a railway. Trust me, in the future they will laugh at how we once did this. Now let me show you how simple it can be. It'll be just like turning a tap. We'll contribute for the funding of the project. I'm going to always do this. 10 extra infrastructure forever. It's great. Also, in this case, it doesn't cost anything, probably because of a bug. My favorite type of bug, the thing that lets me have oil for no money. See, this is how you can tell that I am, in fact, living in America, because I love free oil. And Uluru is calling us as an ally in an ongoing diplomatic play against communist Uluru. Absolutely. I will assist you. By the way, if you refuse to assist in a diplomatic play alongside your ally, you get a really nasty trait for your leader, Bandit, which reduces infamy decay by 50%. It's really, really brutal. Oh. Oh, no, this is just a colonial war. Alright, don't need to get involved in that. And this is Hamburg, another Central European affair. Don't need to get involved in that. So as you can see, these are getting built really fast. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab these navies. And as we get scout cruisers built up, we're going to slowly decrease the number of monitors. In fact, actually, I think we can afford to increase the size of the construction sector once again. Because we got a little buffer of cash. I really wish I could get an event where I could, like, choose to increase enactment chance, because I feel like we've been waffling around between 20 and 40% and keep not experiencing success, and I'm not pleased with it. Honduras is likely to want an increase in autonomy. Oh, that's not great. I really hope that timed modifier goes away. How long do I have that? Four more months. Alright, so they'll go down. They'll start going down pretty soon. In autonomy and desire. And, so I'll have a little time as I continue to decay my infamy before I grab New Grenada, before I need to worry about this again. And the naval bases are almost finished. Excellent. Go. And this is Holstein. This is Paraguay. But would you become my subject? No? Okay. Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate surrounding women's suffrage, one of the country's leading playwrights, strongly associated with the trade unions, has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. The man's viewpoints may be somewhat partisan, but sir, you cannot argue with his prose. Women's suffrage will be on everyone's lips now, 10% enactment chance. Sure puts the trade unions in a good light, 10% interest group attraction. Now let's ensure the play gets a wider international audience, extra prestige. I'm going to go with enactment chance. Again, I'm really hoping this is going to help ungoof my electoral situation. And I got fleets kicking around. I don't know what's going on with that, man. Croatian mass immigration, very good. Australian mass immigration, excellent. Pacific Fleet's still taking its sweet time here, but that's alright. No rush. Got plenty of authority to play with. As these fleets get hiring. Maybe I'll kind of outrun my my need for balance here, just so that I can get these monitors reduced. I think I might do that. Backroom dealings exposed. The stall event. Prominent members of the trade unions, outspoken supporters of women's suffrage, and close allies of Newton Foster have been exposed in a corruption scandal, having exchanged political favors for personal gifts. Well, this is the first stall event. One aide was all it took, one boy squeezing acting from his face in the right place at the right time to overhear the howling laughter, smell the rich tobacco blend, and spot Newton Foster's new golden cufflinks. One honest fellow's word to the right ears, and it was all uncovered. So, such is the nature of politics, reduced enactment chance. Throwing them to wolves must clean up this immense, smaller reduced enactment chance, or increased enactment time. I don't want to get a setback here, so we'll do the second one. It's going to give us a bureaucracy penalty, which is actually pretty bad at this stage. Because my country is so big that it's a huge pile of cash. So we'll basically grab any government admin I've got queued in and throw it in at the top. I think those ones might take forever because they're down in a place that's... Oh no, that's not so bad at all. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem. So where else? Anywhere else we got tax wastage? Tennessee, North Carolina, Texas. Okay. Texas, Tennessee, North Carolina. And we got another secession, a Quechua secession. Ooh, this one's potentially gonna be difficult. Have I at least gotten these areas incorporated? Oh, I'm gonna lose all this incorporation progress. This sucks. Ah. Gosh darn it. Well, it is what it is. So, we'll throw all those in at the top. And hopefully we'll get those built, and then we'll get started fighting this war. Oh, I'm so mad. Oyo is likely to want to increase in autonomy. Well, I certainly the heck don't want that. Alright, here we go. So this is Honduras. I'm going to decline. I will not increase your autonomy, Honduras. And Oyo, nor will I with you. Still going up. But I no longer have the debuff for having recently annexed a puppet, which means all of these are going down now. Finally! Law progress to study. Wonderful. We're getting there, friends. We're doing women's suffrage. Excellent. So, the automatic machine gun has been unlocked. I'm going to apply that to all of my armies. And this is actually going to cause a huge increase in my ability to win wars. Combining this with siege artillery is going to really, really help things. I'm going to mobilize the Army of the Andes as long as we're over here. And one day we'll complete all that infrastructure that I've slated in. The secessionists bomb building. A militant wing of the Quechua secession movement has claimed responsibility for an explosion in a government building, announcing that the time for open war is rapidly approaching. Perhaps we cannot decide if there will be a war, perhaps we cannot even decide when there will be a war, but perhaps our decisions, while trying to exercise control over these issues, will determine who will be on our side when the war comes. They want to destroy our nation, extra devastation in Kentucky. Quechua pops become more radical, or we will not let this loathsome act ruin the fragile peace we have. Angry petit bourgeoisie and evangelicals. I'm going to go with the first one because I can't, yeah, there it goes. Because it just doesn't seem viable. An Incan uprising. 6 and 5 battalions. Not that much of an issue. I'm just going to put my armies there and we'll deal with it. Venezuela is likely to increase autonomy. Yes, I know. This is just all the infamy now. Alright, so... event. Suffrage rally. Rallies in support of women's suffrage law have been taking place around the country, but some of them have been turning violent. Of course, 95% of the protesters are peaceful, but all it takes is one radical element to set things off, and before you know it, we have a whole mob whipped up into a frenzy. Scale back the rallies, extra enactment chance. Or, we'll risk a little violence. 66% chance, a 20% increase. 33% chance, a minus 20% increase, and plus 20 support for the movement. Let's just scale back the rallies. 10% enactment chance is still pretty solid. We're at 30% now. We're in study, so we should be getting there in good time. Alright, let's check on these navies again. West African fleet's good to go. I can now fully end the monitoring. Atlantic fleet is solid. I can get rid of all the monitors at this point. And the Pacific fleet is getting there. Has reached their point. Beautiful. And now we are at number 2, having surpassed the French Empire. Part of this is due to those, and part of it's due to the siege artillery. So the next thing we gotta do is we gotta get, we've got to get defense in depth, which we are going to be working on pretty soon once we finish wargaming. I think I'm going to grab... Hey, a lot of progress to voting. Wonderful. I think I'm going to grab war propaganda first. Dutch mass immigration. Wonderful. And I do want to get landing craft. I don't care about destroyer, concrete dockyard, or submarine. It might be nice to get Dreadnought first, but I just want to reduce the ahead of time penalty that NCO training is going to cause. And once we got NCO training, we can just do whatever we want to do. The discovery of oil in North Dakota is causing people to flock to the state. Encourage this trend. Oil is the future. Same as I always do. Force comparisons in both of these areas are looking rock solid, so I'm not at all worried. I didn't realize the only way we were going to be able to get to the communist uprising in Uluru would be to go around there, but what if I took on your debt? No, they don't want it. And there's the automatic machine guns event. The Devil's Paintbrush. General Perry Hill's use of dedicated machine gun teams in the United States of America versus Incan Uprising War has yielded advantageous results on the battlefield, leaving full platoons of enemies dead before they've even reached our lines. If anyone had told me that it would be possible to make a gun that would pull a cartridge belt into position, pull a loaded cartridge out of it, Move it in front of the barrel, thrust it into the barrel, close the breech in a proper manner, cock the hammer, pull the trigger, fire off the cartridge, extract the empty shell, and throw it out of the mechanism, feed a new shell into the mechanism, and do all these things in a tenth of a second, I would not have believed it. But now I've seen it with my own eyes. Our foes fall like grass before the scythe. 10% defense for 2 years. Or Perry Hill's mastery of this tool is unparalleled. He gets stalwart defender. I'm going to go with the second one. It's interesting. Our foes fall like grass before the scythe is a different bark than I'm used to hearing for that, which is cool. Come on, give me women's suffrage. Oh, we've split the fronts. Manbetu diplomatic play. Oil in California has triggered a gold rush because everything makes sense. Mine, it's all mine. We will go ahead and mobilize the Army of Central Africa. Place them on the front. Dissenters break ranks. To outside observers, the Intelligentsia may appear firmly committed to the idea of women's suffrage, but behind this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now a clique of dissenters have finally had enough and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of reform. For how long have we stood together? How many times have we lent a willing hand your way? Yet our own concerns are left unanswered, our own desires left unmet. If we shall not be heard here, we shall be so elsewhere. Splitters, may the devil take them. Reduce enactment chance. Weaker intelligentsia. Loosen our purse strings, we can lure some of them back. Slightly reduce enactment chance, government expenses, weaker intelligentsia, or offer them custodianship over a new draft, increase enactment chance, slightly weaker intelligentsia. It's only... I've already got 2 successes. So I think it's right to get a setback here. I'm going to offer them custodianship over a new draft. That brings us up to 35% success chance, so I think that'll be just fine. We're rapidly getting to our point where we can annex New Grenada, by the way. We're slowly working on it. Communism rising in Mecklenburg. Again, I don't think I can have any involvement on that. In that. Well, it's Prussia's business, really. Again, our goal is to get down to 55, and we're very slowly getting there. I know it's taking a long time, but, you know, it is what it is. Why don't you guys go up to the north? Communist Uluru is in default. Excellent. Insubordinate Jingoist. An officer in our African colony has intentionally provoked a confrontation with Sahrawi, despite the instructions to keep the peace. We can either save face by going along with the officer's plot, or recall him, admit that we lost control of the situation, and upset the Jingoists. Never mind the missives of weak-minded fools in the capital. Everything I've accomplished during these campaigns was done in spite of the ministry and not because of it. So Sahrawi is where? Over here. I'm not colonizing that area. We have no choice but to attack. I don't want to lose the prestige. Plus, I'm not colonizing, so it's fine. It's fine, because I'm not colonizing that area. So, how's the market looking? Still pretty okay. I could use a lot more groceries. Definitely call for building up food industries and textile mills. But obviously, I'm working on mass infrastructure improvements. You know what? There's that dealt with. I'm going to do a naval invasion on... Hey! Women's suffrage. Excellent. With the Army of the Isthmus. I've got an empty army, which should go to the Army of the Andes. Yes. Cool. Never mind, I don't need to do a naval invasion, because Uluru is finished. So, let's go ahead and restart incorporating all these areas. We didn't lose that much progress on many of them. Particularly, we kept La Paz incorporating, which is very important. But we lost Lima, Ica, Cajamarca, and Arequipa, as well as Santa Cruz, which are not ideal. But it is what it is. There's our fight with the Mengbetu people kicked off. And we have, I think, another Hell on Earth event. Yep, here we go. The perpetrators will pay for their crimes. This'll definitely stop it. This'll be the one that causes those plantation owners to shape up and stop doing this sort of thing. Right? Right? Alright, so, once again, let's check on our situation here. Some new Grenada. This will cost us 40 infamy. So it's actually really just going to be another year or so. Just a little bit longer than a year. So hopefully next episode we'll get started on that. We'll probably go to the end of this episode. I want to see these areas get incorporated because then we'll get to see what our state count looks like going forward, because we got a lot of states on this flag. France is continuing to increase in power projection, which I don't love. Oh, Great Britain and the French are fighting. France wants the transfer of Hawaii. Very well. If we accept, we'll be able to add a war goal for ourselves as a secondary demand. Oh, that's nice. That's super rad. I accept. So I can add a war goal here. That's new. That's new as of 1.7.6. So what do I want? Can't do a liberation. Could do a revoke claim. Could do war reparations. Could do a conquest. French Constantine, that's over here. Just go West Micronesia, Tonga, Fiji, Connaught. French Eastern New Guinea is an extremely tempting target. Yeah, I would love to take this territory, actually. Get myself more of Eastern New Guinea. Let me see. Obviously, they don't have any territory. How much for Guyana? 5.8. Because that's in the Americas. Like, they don't have any territory over here that I'm next to anymore. Because all of that became Senegal, and Senegal is currently independent. So, yeah, let's go ahead and grab Western New Guinea. It's very little. Or I could grab French Western Australia. I'll be closer to Uluru. My friends. I'm going to grab Eastern New Guinea. Go ahead and gorble up that area. And we will mobilize. I don't think we're going to need, including mobilizing units that were already nearly mobilized. So I don't think we're going to need that much power for this. We'll just send the American Expeditionary Force here. We'll send the Army of California here. And we'll send the Army of the Isthmus here. And we'll send the Pacific Fleet into the area just to get things ready to go. And I think that's going to be a sufficiency of force. We'll go ahead and send the army. Is there another place to actually wage this war? I don't think so. So I'm going to let that be. Communist revolt happening in British Senegal. Which where is the communist revolt happening in British Senegal? That's what I wonder. Oh, it's this area. Yeah, I don't suppose I'll need to get involved in that situation whatsoever. So I increased my infamy a little bit, but it's going to be worth it. I know I should keep my eyes on the prize here, but, you know, it's a rare chance to get what I want to get. So France initiated this, looking for a transfer of Hawaii. That's very interesting. I can't add this to primary. And there's the Expand Power Plants event. A stable supply of power. The recent expansion of power plants in Tennessee has inspired faith in a future where all of the United States of America is electrified. Tapping the power of the roaring rivers and waterfalls by transforming it into the power of a thunderstorm must be a sign that we are approaching the final stage of man's mastery of nature. Are we ready? Morally, intellectually, spiritually? It matters not. It is coming. I can go with unlimited power, or 33% power plants throughput. Or I can say there must be other ways to produce electricity, progress towards steam turbine. You know I'm going to get that innovation, because I love innovating. That said, we are actually over time already. So this is going to be the end of the episode. Next episode, we'll fight this war. But for now, I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. And I'll see you on the other side.